No aid for Gaza and a new Napoleon in France. It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. Item number 5 today, Gaza. Hamas isn't doing itself any favors by refusing to sit down and negotiate. Last week, Hamas rejected the ceasefire extension proposal put forward by U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. And so on Sunday, Israel's Energy and Infrastructure Minister Eli Cohen said that the Israelis would stop supplying electricity to Gaza. People are losing their minds over this. The corporate media and protesters saying this is inhumane. This would be akin to saying that France and Belgium had to continue providing power to Germany during World War II. I don't see the logic connected here. Last Sunday, the Israeli government suspended all humanitarian aid entering Gaza. Benjamin Netanyahu saying no goods or supplies entering Gaza until further notice. Again, people accusing Israel of crimes against humanity for this. Now, since the ceasefire began January 19th, more than 25,000 aid trucks carrying food, water, and medicine have entered Gaza, more than 500,000 tents, over 2,000 fuel tankers. Israeli officials estimate that Hamas has stockpiled supplies sufficient for 4 to 6 months, and Hamas has been using humanitarian aid to fund its terrorist activities, to pay militants throughout the war. In fact, Channel 12 in Israel reported last September that Hamas had made nearly $500 million by hijacking and reselling humanitarian aid to Gazans. And this is how they were paying its fighters. So, cutting off aid, cutting off electricity, not really starving the people of Gaza if you look at the actual facts on the ground there. And by the way, while this is going on, the Israeli government now actively developing a large-scale emigration plan for the Arabs in Gaza. This in coordination with the U.S. government. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said on Sunday that the government led by Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz working to establish a migration administration to oversee the process. As President Trump has said, Gaza is basically unlivable at this point. I understand that Arabs are objecting to this because they're afraid they won't be allowed to return, but the fact is, at this point, there's not much to return to anyway. Get them out so reconstruction can begin, and then worry about bringing the people back when there's actually livable dwellings in place. Topic number and infrastructure. Item number 4, the new Napoleon. French President Emmanuel Macron last week, by the way, this is an AI-generated image. He doesn't really dress up like Napoleon as far as I know. He last week floated the idea of using France's nuclear arsenal to protect all of Europe, extending France's nuclear umbrella to cover all of Europe and defend against Russia. This was welcomed by Poland as well as the Baltic nations, Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia. Macron said he's opening a strategic debate. This is a role currently played by U.S. nuclear weapons stored in NATO countries. The U.S., President Trump trying to back away from this proxy war that Joe Biden got us into back in 2022. Macron claimed in his televised address that unless Putin is defeated in Ukraine, he will threaten other European countries with invasion. Now, France is the only nuclear-armed power in the European Union. Yes, Britain has nukes, but the United Kingdom left the EU 5 years ago. But this is another example of the bizarre logic coming from Europe and the neocons. On the one hand, we're told that if we just help Ukraine with a little more money on top of the, 170 billion, 350 billion, who knows what the exact number is at this point, we send more money to Ukraine, they can defeat Russia and stop them there, because if we don't stop them in Ukraine, then Russia is going to roll over all of Europe. In other words, Russia is so weak that Ukraine can defeat them if we just help Ukraine a little bit, but it's so powerful that you'll take over Germany and Poland and France and what are you saying? It makes no logical sense, but we're not supposed to think this through. We're just supposed to think Putin bad, and so we're supposed to commit to the. Let's pray that cooler heads prevail, and that we don't wind up in a nuclear World War III. Item number 3 today, Friends of Joe. Back during the 90s, you remember Friends of Bill Clinton, who got special favors and treatment because they were friends of Bill and Hillary. Well, being a friend of Joe, apparently, is also very profitable, Joe Biden, of course. During the final months of the Biden administration, the National Institutes of Health awarded $28 million to a mysterious venture-backed company called Vaccine Company Incorporated. It's a biomedical company founded in 2022, and the chief financial officer just happens to be one of former President Biden's top COVID advisors. Just think about that. A vaccine company, literally named Vaccine Company, that appears to have no public footprint, operates out of a post office box in Bethesda, Maryland. And it got $28 million. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst urged Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Department of Health and Human Services Secretary, to investigate why the Biden administration awarded tens of millions of dollars to this mysterious firm and to try to claw back any unspent money. But that's really small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. The new head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, says he's trying to rescind $20 billion, billion with a B, in grants handed out by the EPA for climate and clean energy projects. This money's been described as a progressive slush fund, supposed to go to a first-of-its-kind program to address the climate crisis while revitalizing communities that it considered historically left behind. It's actually $27 billion. It appears that little of this money, which was allocated during the Inflation Reduction Act, proof again that legislation passed by Congress does exactly the opposite of the title, did anything except revitalize the bank accounts of environmental nonprofit organizations associated with former Obama and Biden staff members. 8 groups were allocated sums ranging from $400 million to $6.9 billion. These nonprofits supposed to lend money to smaller nonprofits. These loans were supposed to be repaid, but there was nothing in the bill about oversight, how the loans were to be allocated, administered, nothing, no oversight at all. In other words, slush fund. Not surprisingly, one of the groups, the one that was supposed to get $6.9 billion, has sued the EPA over the freeze on its money because, I mean, why not? If they fail, all right, nothing lost, but if they win, $6.9 billion payday. Topic number 2, surprised we are not. I should have said that in my Yoda voice, except I don't do a Yoda voice. Anyway, the Senate, United States Senate, has released emails from the FBI and defense officials from 2015 and 2016 showing that then Secretary of State John Kerry and the Obama administration prevented the arrests of Iranian-backed terrorists and stopped investigations related to Iran during the negotiation for the Iran nuclear deal. The New York Post reporting that documents from whistleblowers accused Kerry of personally intervening to stop investigations and prevent the arrests of terrorists affiliated with Iran. In addition, the Obama-era Justice and State Departments were accused of creating a shadow amnesty program that protected scores of additional Iranian criminals. In other words, being able to say to the American public, we have secured peace in our time, was more important than the security of the United States. At least you hope that's the reason, that it was just politics. As it turned out, the FBI and other federal law enforcement agencies closed dozens of investigations because they knew they weren't going to go anywhere. Coming up, locking the clock. Oh, we hope they make this happen. I'll explain next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can support the ministry of Skywatch TV and our continued efforts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the 4 corners of the world and receive your very own copy of this urgent new work when you order the Tracking Toward Tribulation special offer. Not only does this incredible opportunity include Terry James' new book, Tracking Toward Tribulation and the Any Moment Intervention by Jesus Christ, but it also includes Terry's best-selling book, Lawless: End Times War Against the Spirit of Antichrist. This book reveals how the spiritual forces behind global chaos and demonic rage are signs of Christ's imminent return. But that's not all. Right now, this special offer also includes Unraveling Revelation, The Four Horsemen on DVD featuring Derek and Sharon Gilbert. This incredible DVD uncovers the biblical truth behind the riders of the apocalypse, the chariots of Zechariah, the Watchers, Babylon, Hermes, Hades, and even death itself. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $80. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Tracking Toward Tribulation special offer right now.
Item number 1 today, daylight savings time. It's here again. You probably noticed that on Sunday when suddenly it was darker later and lighter later. Senator Rick Scott, Republican from Florida, has called on Congress to pass the Sunshine Protection Act to lock the clock on daylight savings time. Some states, including Illinois and Ohio, have brought forth resolutions in the state legislatures to call on Congress to make daylight saving time permanent. Lawmakers in Connecticut, Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Maryland, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania also hoping to preserve or observe daylight saving time year-round. There are a couple of states that do this anyway, just don't change times with the rest of us. It can get a little confusing, but not as confusing as it is for the rest of us when we suddenly wake up in March and November and things are not as we think they should be. Senator Scott's bill, and there's some research to show that this leads to other health issues with the change in time and having to adjust and so forth. Senator Scott's bill has been referred to Congress, or to committee rather, for more discussion. We hope something happens on it, but if not, we will be back on standard time and back having to adjust once again on November 2nd. This week on Skywatch TV, we continue our discussion with end times prophecy expert Terry James. His new book is an anthology, a collection of contributions from other end times prophecy experts. The book Tracking Towards Tribulation. And this week we talk about the state of belief in the Christian church here in the West. It is, the Apostle Paul would have harsh words for us. Let's just put it that way. Donna Howell explains, she wrote the chapter on the state of what Christians actually believe compared to what's in the Bible. Don't miss the program. You could watch it over the air, our broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can watch it on our set-top box. If you've got the Skywatch TV channel installed on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Fire TV, or Apple TV, you can catch it right there along with all of our video content. It's on the internet too, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television. Subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button. Also Rumble, rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or download it and all of our video content right to your smartphone or tablet with the free Skywatch TV app. It's available in the app stores for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire, phones and tablets. We got links to all of those app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. 5 in 10 is online. You can find us at YouTube at 5 in 10. Subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and follow us on X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.